And I gotta shout out the community right now. You guys are doing wonderful things. FaZe Brutus now follows me on Twitter. His first tweet is a quote tweet of a clip of Brutus taking out Mr. Savage. It says, "Good fight, bro," at Mr. Savage.
There's no way.
Oh, that's so good. Speaking of Brutus, his counterpart Midas. Actually, no, his I guess this is his opponent, right? I think Midas is part of Ghosts. I don't know, Shio, you're the lore master.
Ivan, like the 7th circle moving through.
Alright, I say we back off this.
So getting tags is so important, but everyone's so good at getting them. Unknown though, doing what he's good at. 2 pumps back to back. Ronaldo cleans up as well. It's now a 1v2. And actually playing very smart.
He's popping minis. Come here. I don't want to get their party. Alright, right here.
This fight, pretty okay, I'd say, in terms of position. Especially because this guarantees safety
So we can play safe.
against the Storm Surge, and also possibly gets them a refresh.
We could base up in this.
It does get third-partied. They get the loot though, but not the, not quite the damage. I think they may have also early. Yeah, he did. Yeah, this is tough, especially because this team looks like they want to build fight. Actually, fear my skill. They're approaching the little agency outpost right here next to the hill and getting tagged from the back as well. A Minish is entering the fight. And more arrows coming closer to this build fight rather than away from it, which is typically what you see. Look, 2 different teams coming in from the sides and looking for those tags. Those ever so precious Storm Surge tags. Sway and Scrubs being one of them. These purple arrows are making me nervous coming in from the south.
Yeah, they're looking hungry. They're going to have a choice to actually choose if high ground or low ground will be the issues here. So Minish, fear my skill on height there. And nades, actually. Those arrows stop. No damage done. It looks like they just have 1 tier or 1 slot of nades available in their inventory to get split across. No, more end up coming in as well, but they don't actually see Kiro and Bucky move back 1 tier or 1 unit away. It's like game 2 mentality right now, right? Everyone's just still kind of feeling themselves out. Sometimes a second chance. People did make it off spawn. Their first look into the game. Everyone's still playing that passive way. There's no grief happening just yet.
One of those teams was 8 and Saf. They're getting pushed as well from the top of that in that replay. So kind of interesting there how that plays out. This is Lucky and Lazar P did make their way onto that Misty Island. Unknown just got sniped from 180 meters.
They're in 27.
Can Ronaldo pick him back up? It's a question.
For kids, next we want to get in on these? No, we can't. Zone's coming. We need a pad.
This is one of the hardest zones to actually maneuver.
Scouting us.
And one of the hardest spots to be in to get to the start of that journey.
Right next to us, bro.
They have the freedom of Storm Surge. It will be caught up though. Just a few heavy snipers from any of the teams below them. Could spell disaster. We know how stacked that 7th zone can get. This will be the first look in the finals as to how NAE East plays from a mid-ground perspective, all the way from mid-game. A lot of damage actually taken by High Sky. 1 shot is going to take him out of the competition.
Yeah, me too. I'm going.
He's hoping, praying that he doesn't get hit, but the lag also starting to hit at the same time. Can he get in? He does pop a mini, but not with Commandment. He's trying to actually get an impact. Here's Commandment. Let's get back to it. The med kit, they're barely in. I think they might have to move a little bit for zone, but being able to stay out in this fully built metal and then move in later is perfect because he needs to pop this med kit before somebody decides that they want to start spamming their wall.
I have that wall. This is my wall here.
I don't think anyone's gonna be coming up behind them, but it's these boxes to like the right and the left. They have to be the most careful of. They still have to move forward 1 box like you mentioned, and it might not be possible. A layer change here could be very dangerous. They don't have any information, haven't been tracking who's been landing. They were the first people to land as well. That means that everyone else develops on top of them, and that's the case here. But a big pick on a Siwa, and then another big tack shot. They do take a little bit of damage, but that's huge impacts they need. No shields, 1 med kit.
Max here, take half.
High Sky's gonna take it. Commandment's gonna be a little bit lower on HP. Is this the right decision?
Alright, nice. Tunnel us in. You have tunnel us in.
Not split a full distance zone again. It's going into Misty Meadows, so a slight elevation change, but right up the center of that river. So they should be okay, but water also an issue and a factor. Trying to spot where the good layer is. They move into the right. One player in the box. They catch him. Almost get the cone, but no, that's the opportunity. They start to back off. They don't want to fight that just then because they have plenty of mats to work with. Commandment drops a little bit. I think this is a good layer right now. Nobody actually
No one's here. What are you saying?
infecting or coming into them.
I'm holding top.
Look at the map, though.
In my box.
So far into Misty Meadows, right up the center in that river. Low HP, and they're getting caught back in the zone. AJ actually comes from somewhere and takes him out with a rifle. Commandment, the clutch master, but really not too much for him to do with the low HP that he has. At least they split all those materials. For Commandment, it was a good layer, but all of a sudden everything went bad because they scuffed a couple of times and then got pressured. Commandment in zone now.
30 kids right now. 30 kids.
In the middle of Misty Meadows.
26 mats. Don't open on anyone.
Second game, 0 utility, 2 maximum distance zones. Now 1 minute separates him and another zone where he can just be safe for a second, hopefully praying that zone bounces back. I don't think 200 mats will be enough. Half these walls he doesn't actually own. We'll have to replace them, won't be possible.
But he can get actually right back to where High Sky went down. If you see that reboot card, there's at least 400 materials still there. But no, you're right. It did not even last him to that. And they're going to go down and out. Here's Hogman. Earlier in the game, he's slightly delayed in comparison to High Sky, so just keep that in mind. This is just a different perspective from where we saw earlier.
He's going to have a chance to actually stay up near the land masses on the left and right. He's going to hover just over the bridge, and he's very, very close to that second portion of it. Hogman obviously coming in 50th place, the talk of the town, the clutch qualification with the win yesterday. This time trying to prove that he can clutch is just as good as NPen. Won't have NPen to use off of height though. This will be a mid-ground to low-ground play. The zone bouncing straight back as we saw before. Low ground's kind of claimed by multiple teams though. Now Hog almost playing like he has no mats. Surveying everything, invisible to everyone around him. Is it positioning? Is it timing? I'm not sure, but he's buying so much time for himself, saving on mats box to box. Using just about 50 to rotate just about a few tiles.
And I think the key here is that he's going so far to the edge of zone, but staying ahead of where everybody else is on the edge, meaning that this location probably isn't going to be taken by anybody at all. And even getting so, look at that, he's riding it perfectly. It does take a few tags, and then a minigun, all of a sudden he gets melted.
16.
Who's on high ground? It's Spirok and Priyan, who were in 9th place.
This is their chance. They're seeing kind of panicked in the communications. That is a very good placement for a follower notification, my friend, as these guys drop down onto second height, claiming it as their own, pushing people down. It's a full water zone. The big tax coming in. It's a knock. They're getting excited, but they're obviously maybe even throwing the competition. Spirok going down. Now it's all up to his teammate. Keys is actually the one who's going to be on low, fighting right back for this. The reboot card not going to be possible to be taken. It's going to be height versus low ground. Priyan looking for any shots. There's water down below. The accuracy not actually there. Going to be up and close and personal. If the beam doesn't take it, maybe it's shotgun aim will. The wrong decision. Fall damage falling on the floor. Height toss the game.
A look into exactly what it's like to observe. It's a tough job, guys. Trust me. Slacks and Keys, no, it was, yeah, Slacks and Keys were fully on this mid-ground layer right under Spirok and Priyan. Meanwhile, Mega and Users fully on low ground. Dwifo clutching up by himself, by the way, right underneath that cone, in the water even. And where does this take us? Mega and Users, another full duo against Keys. No, Keys and Slacks are just one now. Mega and Users are the guys who are fully 2v1 down on low ground. Who's it going to be? Damien's goes down, Users, and it is going to be Keys after slides. That was a tough one to follow. We had no clue what happened at the end of that. And it happened in EU from the first time that came uncontested. Regardless, here it is. Slacks and Keys overtake Creo and Bucky with that game. 27 points, actually. And I don't remember if I saw them in the top 10, but that must mean that that game, 10 eliminations and first place. So 20-point game from them. Creo and Bucky fall slightly because of a 15th place one elimination game, so only a 4 points for them.
And they did clutch out that placement all the way there, which is crucial because without that, they'd just be knocked out of the top 10. 3 points below puts you all the way down to, actually no, just 5th place, but now have a pedestal and a spot to just challenge Slacks and Keys 6 points behind.